Hello everyone and welcome to North Quincy High School in the Walter Cap Bryan Gymnasium, where tonight the North Quincy and Quincy girls basketball teams will play in the first of two meetings this season. My name is Jonathan Callery. Thanks for tuning into this edition of QATV Sports. I'm being joined here by Jim Timmons, and we're going to head down to our PA announcer for the introduction of the starting lineups.
Recorded by the combined Quincy High School, North Quincy High School Choir. Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, real quick, we'll run down the starting lineups. First for the visiting presidents, number 3, junior captain Frankie Diaz. Number 15, freshman Gabriella Davis. Number 20, senior captain Taylor Mann. Number 21, junior Rory Kennedy. And number 23, junior Evie Catrabone. For North Quincy, number 3, Tabby McDonough, junior. Number 5, senior captain Megan Smith. Number 10, junior captain Maddie O'Donnell. Number 21, freshman Molly Powers. And number 22, junior Alea Colbert.
Well, what we have tonight is a matchup between a juggernaut, the Red Raiders, and a Quincy High team that's in a rebuilding situation, and we'll see how things play out here. We'll kind of talk as we go, because this, like the prior game, the boys' game, it's an early season matchup, so there's not a lot that we know about the two teams. But we do know that most of these girls out here for the Red Raiders went all the way to the state semifinals last year. So a talented group, but they're playing against a very determined Quincy High President team. This cross-town rivalry always brings out the best in both clubs.
Yeah, for the Presidents, Frankie Diaz, Taylor Mann, Rory Kennedy, and Catcherbone all saw lots of playing time last year for the Presidents. As Catcherbone goes into the hole, as Taylor Mann, and Mann will get fouled and go to the line to shoot 2.
Well, and a quick foul on a young lady we expect to be talking a lot about tonight, Alea Colbert. Colbert showed up in the middle of last year when her family moved to North Quincy. And she caught on with the North Quincy Red Raiders squad that was flying along anyway, a little late. But she's a terrific player and expected to play a big role this year for the Red Raiders. And as I talk about juggernauts versus rebuilding, the Lady Presidents take an early lead.
And nice job there by Gabriella Davis. Freshman for the Presidents blocks that ball. A shot by another freshman, Molly Powers. Powers trying to look at and get it in. Megan Smith trying to look down low for Colbert. And Davis comes up with the steal. Diaz down low, kicks it back up. 3-point shot there is a little off target by Rory Kennedy. North trying to set up their offense. Powers open for 3, and foul called on North Quincy, and it's second on Alea Colbert.
Well, that's not a good development from the North Quincy perspective.
And head coach Leanna Cunningham is going to let Colbert stay in the game. 2 fouls early on here in the game.
Part of the rationale, there's a lot of depth on this team here, so you don't have to protect any one particular player. This one's going to go the other way. This is a foul on Quincy High's Gabriella Davis, crashing the boards there.
Powers bring the ball up for North.
Yeah, so far, a little surprisingly, there's just been a lot of dribbling here by the Red Raider offense. There hasn't been good ball movement at all.
Nice defense there by the Presidents. Evie Catcherbone gets the hands in there to steal that ball, knock it away, as Powers is trying to drive in. And Frankie Diaz going to the line to shoot 2 as she drives to the hole and gets fouled. Foul's called on number 3, Tabby McDonough. Sarah Conlon, head coach for the Presidents. As I mentioned, Leanna Cunningham for North. As Diaz makes the first.
Diaz sticks the first, right, nicely. Who hit the first foul shot for Quincy?
Taylor Mann.
Okay, I missed that one. Thank you. Sticks them both, nicely done.
Quincy coming into this game with a record of 4-3, 2-2 in the Patriot League. The Raiders 4-1, 3-1 in the Patriot League. North Quincy started out 4-0 before losing to Hanover in their last game, 47-45. Close game against the Hawks. That game was at Hanover. Should mention too, this is North Quincy's first game back after 4 straight road games. And Davis tips that ball away for the steal. And Davis will go to the line for a three-point play as she goes up and in. Nice job there again by Gabriella Davis. Powers called for the foul.
Well, I'm going to tell you, the early assessment is that one of the teams showed up ready to play here, and the other one is still looking to get the engine started. President's coming out, doing a terrific job defensively. And they're out to an early 5-point lead, 5-0.
Down low to McDonough, she tips it away. And shot there is good, a three-point basket by Maddie O'Donnell.
Yeah, O'Donnell drilled that. I referred to her last year as the Peyton Pritchard of the North Quincy Raiders squad, and I'll expand on that tonight, I'm sure. That was just one example of it as she stuck the three.
Frankie Diaz with the ball for the Presidents, looking down low, nothing happening. 7 on the shot clock. Diaz corner three, that's no good. Colbert with the rebound.
Wow.
And offensive foul is going to be called against number 5 for North Quincy, Megan Smith.
Yeah, she was just completely out of control there, frankly. She never had control of the dribble and then did not have control of her body and just ran into the defensive player. So North has 5 team fouls already, and we're not even at the 4-minute mark of the first quarter.
Gia Plaskaskovidis checks in now for the Raiders. Tabby McDonough shot no good, loose ball. And it'll be a jump ball, Raiders possession.
Yeah, McDonough with a dribble penetration there, but then a forced shot. And North with yet another kind of weak possession so far. Now they're moving the ball around. Let's see how they do with 10 seconds left on the shot clock. They're resetting the offense here.
Powers up the top of the key. 4 on the shot clock. And ball goes through the hands of Plaskaskovidis. And with 1 second on the shot clock, it'll be Raiders ball.
I wonder if they're going to call a change of possession there and reset the clock. It appears not.
Powers trying to pass it in. And got it into Plaskaskovidis, but took too long to get the shot off. And it'll be Quincy ball.
So to kind of get a little excitement going for the Red Raiders, they go to a 2-2-1 full court press. And O'Donnell with the steal. It's going to be a jump ball, isn't it? Yep. They call it jump ball, and the possession arrow favors Quincy. So excellent job on Quincy's part to recover there. It's a great play by Rory Kennedy.
North still in their full court pressure.
Yeah, Quincy handled that pretty readily there.
Evie Catrabone had the ball, gets knocked out of her hands. Remain Quincy ball. Davis gets over to Diaz. Davis open for 3. She shoots it, no good. Rebounded by McDonough. And McDonough was trying to go towards the basket, but loses the dribble. Ends up now in the hands of Gabriella Davis. She drives in, tough shot, and gets on a rebound and up and in.
Nice job by Davis of hanging in there and finishing the play. I mean, North just had a series of kind of careless possessions here. The last one was another one. Here they're running an offense. Here they actually ran a play, got the ball inside, and drew a foul.
Foul's going to be on Frankie Diaz. Diaz thought she had all ball in that play, but gets called for the foul, and Gia Platzkos-Kavitas will go to the line to shoot 2.
This was one area where the Red Raiders excelled last year, which I probably shouldn't have said until after she had shot her 2, and they started in the other direction. But there were many things they did very well last year, and one of them was foul shooting.
Ball rebounded there by Caroline Mann. No, excuse me, Taylor Mann, as Caroline Mann checked into the game. Tabby McDonough got called for the foul down the other end of the floor. That's her second. And Rory Kenny at the line makes the first. All right, McDonough will go to the bench with those 2 fouls, and Hopper Mergel checks in now for North Quincy. And around the rim and out. Not shot there by Kennedy. Quincy gets the ball back, though. Diaz for 3, no good. North has the ball, slow things down. Maddie O'Donnell with the ball now for North, bringing it up.
Yeah, they brought Colbert back in, so they want to get her the ball, obviously.
Nice defense there by Caroline Mann, the senior for the Presidents, working against Colbert. Davis high off the glass and in. 6 points for Gabriella Davis, here in the first quarter. Coming up on a minute and a half, past a minute and a half now in the first. And loose ball will be Quincy possession.
Yeah, Davis is having a heck of a first quarter for the Presidents, the Lady Presidents. She's only a freshman. That's why we had not seen her before, but she's playing very assertively and playing with great confidence. And I'll tell you, the Presidents have they've been solid on both ends of the floor. They showed up prepared for tonight's ball game. North, on the other hand, they're playing good defense, but offensively, it's just been really, at best, sloppy. And they have to get things straightened out. They're trailing by 7 here, and this squad, we know from watching them play last year, is well capable of, having a little run. We talked about runs in the boys' game, but North can get back in this game. But right now, the way the Lady Presidents are playing, they've come in, they've asserted control on the floor, and they're doing a terrific job, John. North again coming out with 2-2-1 full court pressure.
Diaz with the ball for the Presidents, working against O'Donnell. Gets across half court. Now she's trapped right in the corner, and a foul's called on, looks like it's Molly Powers, number 21. That's Powers' second foul as well. So Powers, Colbert, McDonough all have 2 fouls here in the first quarter. right, Megan Smith checks back in now for North Quincy, and Molly Powers will go to the bench.
Nice job by Diaz of stepping up and sticking the first. And she is now 4 for 4 from the line, John. Nice job.
(12-3) lead for the Presidents. Under a minute to go now in the first quarter.
Try to force the ball into Colbert.
Quincy comes up with it. Diaz swings it over. Taylor Mann for three is no good, but she gets fouled.
Wow. I don't know. I don't quite know what to say. That's Colbert's third. So she's done for the first half, I would say. And, you know, North just continues to play somewhat inexplicably. And the Presidents, Gia Plaskovitis, steps up and buries the first. She's going to go to the line for three. This is the second. In my quick lead-in, I talked about a juggernaut against a rebuilding squad, but it's probably a good thing the Lady Presidents didn't hear me. They might have uncorked a little more fury here even. They've just had a really terrific first quarter. Precisely what Coach Conlon would have drawn up for them. And they're performing tonight. They're executing very well.
Mergel, she drives in. A nice job there by Harper Mergel for that 2 points.
Mergel looked a little hesitant when she was at the foul line, but then took it to the hoop with authority and finished well.
Looks like Megan Smith gets called for the foul. That's her second foul. And going to the line is Reagan Weber for the Presidents. This is the first.
Freshman Sophia Nguyen is coming in to see her first action.
And Weber gets 1 of 3 at the line. 20 seconds to go here in the first quarter. And a foul called against the Presidents. Rory Kennedy called for her first.
North with 10 seconds on the clock, trying to run a play.
And Caitlin Wood trying to get the ball, gets called for the travel. 4 seconds to go. And Sarah Conlon is going to get Gabriella Davis in real quick for the last 4 seconds. Final shot off, and a foul's called with no time left on the clock.
Wow. I really don't know what to say anymore because this is quite inexplicable, quite uncharacteristic. That was a freshman fouling a three-point shot as the buzzer sound. So I think The fact she's a freshman might explain some of it, but big mistake there. And Taylor Mann hits the first, misses the second, sticks the third. So Mann had 3 foul shots this first quarter. And I'll tell you what, just a really impressive performance by the Quincy Presidents. The Lady Presidents came into the North Quincy High gym going up against, at least by reputation, a superior opponent. And they have just taken it to their crosstown rivals. A lot of determination, great play defensively, and they've been very consistent on offense. On the other end of the floor, North Quincy's responsible for a lot of its own issues here. They only scored 5 points. And, they just had a very, very balky first quarter, and we're going to see what happens here as they try to correct things.
I think real quick, let's take a look at some highlights of that first quarter. Opening basket there by North Quincy. Nice take to the hole there by Gabriella Davis, getting a rebound. All right, start of second quarter here at North Quincy High School. An 11-point lead for the Presidents, 16-5. Blasco-Savides kicks it out.
Well, that was a good look. That time they ran an offense and got a good look. They missed the shot. Back come the Presidents.
Davis right to the hole, can't get it to go though, and Green with the rebound. Excuse me, Caitlin Wood with the rebound.
Yeah, nice rebound in traffic by Wood.
And there's Riley Green with the 2 points. Catcherone can't get the shot to go.
Wood with another rebound. She's come in and made an impact on the defensive end.
Amelia Maddie has checked into the game for North Quincy as well, the junior. Ball goes out of bounds for remaining North Quincy ball. And Gabriella Davis just takes that ball away from Gia Blasco-Savides. Results in a jump ball, and it's Quincy possession. Rory Kennedy with the ball up to Frankie Diaz. Diaz, great move there. Goes baseline and drains the bucket.
Yeah, what a nice little move by Diaz. A little crossover dribble with a nice baseline finish. And the lead is at 11 here, John. Quincy continuing to control this ball game.
Hopper Mergel with 3, and she hits it.
Big 3 by Mergel there.
5 points for Mergel here tonight. Davis drives in, and she gets fouled, and will go to the line to shoot 2.
This freshman, Gabriella Davis, very, very impressive. She's confident and assertive, taking the ball to the hoop. Doesn't hesitate at all. Neither team shot particularly well from the foul line so far in this first half, John. Let's see if Gabriella can break that trend. She has good form and a nice stroke, but missed the first.
A little too strong on both of those. Merkel comes down with the rebound.
Yeah, very authoritative rebound by Merkel. That was good stuff. That was not good stuff.
Not sure if she lost her balance there or what on that shot, but the ball goes off of the wire, holding up the backboard, so it'll be Quincy ball.
No, well, she had a nice rebound in traffic, but then was not in control at all after that. And that's been the problem for North Quincy tonight. There's a three.
Yeah, open for three was Gabriella Davis, and she hits it. Back to an 11-point lead now for the Presidents. And another turnover.
Davis again. She's having a heck of a game for herself. Nice little crossover dribble here by Frankie Diaz.
And Diaz will go to the line to shoot two as she draws the foul. Looks like it's Caitlin Wood, the freshman, for her second personal foul.
Yeah, Wood's been pretty solid on D there. She got a little overly aggressive with the reach, but so the lead is still at 11 and a chance for the Presidents to build on it a bit. There's a foul shot that went in, a rare event. Although actually Diaz has been pretty good from the foul line. That's her fifth make tonight.
Caroline Mann checks back into the game for the Presidents. 1 of 2 at the line for Diaz. Jump ball. And it's Raiders possession. Nice defense there, Taylor Mann. Still North Quincy ball. Oh. And double dribble there by Maddie O'Donnell.
So with 4:48 to go in this first half, I got to tell you, there honestly has not been one offensive possession by this North Quincy squad that's gone in the right direction. The points that they've scored have not been the result of an offensive possession where there was some flow to it or things that went on. This has been a tough start.
Merkel open for three again, and can't get it to go. Fight for the rebound. And Quincy comes down with a nice hustle there by Rory Kennedy.
Nice job getting the ball out after the rebound.
Davis open for three in the corner, can't get it to go. But Diaz right there for the rebound, off the glass and in.
Wow.
Frankie Diaz, 9 points
Diaz
here tonight. Quincy coming with a little bit of pressure of their own. And timeout called by North Quincy.
Yeah, North trailing by 14, showing no signs whatsoever of getting themselves back in this game. Quincy leading by 14 is just, they've come out and they've played a very solid game. They had a game plan coming in. They're clearly sticking with it. They're playing some tough defense there. And then on the offensive end, they've done a lot of things very nicely. They're so far led by Diaz and Davis, the offensive end. The loss of Colbert has really hurt North Quincy. Interior defense is not there for the Red Raiders like they might hope. So they've got to make some adjustments. And John, one of the problems in a game like this, when you're the favored team and you let the other squad hang around, and they hang around too long, by the midpoint of the fourth quarter, it's anyone's game. Well, right now, this is beyond hanging around. If North Quincy doesn't get back into this ball game and lets Quincy continue to control it, they're going to have big problems in the second half. So we'll see what the Presidents can do. Right now, Davis is out top, putting intense pressure on the ball. Great defense.
Mergel drives in, and she draws the foul on Davis.
No, they.
Excuse me, no.
Yeah, they did not get Davis.
It's
They got Caroline
Caroline
Mann.
Mann. All right, so Hopper Mergel will go to the line for 2 foul shots.
Hopper Mergel has excellent, shooting form, very smooth. Did a nice job there.
Diaz from 3, way big out there. He can't get it to go.
Yeah, that was a big time. 3.
.317 to go here in the second quarter.
Wow.
And an offensive foul is going to be called away from the ball on Frankie Diaz.
Yeah. I said wow because I saw that happening, and it was kind of an extremely rambunctious response on the pick. She's going over to the bench smiling, but Diaz did not like being run over, and let folks know that.
So Evie Catrabone checks back in now for the Presidents as Diaz goes to the bench with 2 fouls. And nice defense there by Tyler McDonough, but she gets a little too aggressive and gets called for the foul.
Wow.
And that's
her
McDonough's third foul as well.
Third foul on McDonough. Tell you, Coach, Liana Cunningham, this has got to be a first, time experience. She's trying to push the right buttons and get the team going, and there's just nothing that's working right. They put Maggie O'Donnell on the young freshman Davis. Maggie is approaching senior year. I don't know what's going on. The official is looking to have something addressed here. We have a pause and play while some sort of issue being addressed by security and the police who are present. I think someone may have had too much to say to the official, and he'll have to take that discussion outside the gym. So one fan's been removed, and we'll see what happens now.
And Megan Smith gets called for her third foul. Taylor Mann shot no good. Rebounded by Smith. And trying to get the outlet pass. up the court, but it is no good. Was trying to get it up there to Maddie O'Donnell.
Wow. I don't know. They got to get to halftime here because this team just cannot go in the direction of, I'm going to call it right to left, if you're looking at the court from your screen there. They are just not making it happen when they get on this side of the court. And in some instances, they're not even getting into the offensive side of the court. So at this juncture with 2:20 left, Quincy, which had an 11-point lead that they were kind of nursing, has now extended that to 13 points. And they continue to be in control here. And North's got some big problems. McDonough's got 3 fouls. Colbert's got 3 fouls. I mean, there's just some key issues here that are not readily fixed. And the gang out on the court right now, they've got 2:20 to try to get this lead back to single digits. We'll see what they can do.
Diaz trapped in the corner, and a fouls call against Hopper Mergel to help bail out the Presidents. That's a 15 foul in the quarter, and Diaz will go to the line.
Great job. Sticks the foul shots, and
nice take there by Megan Smith to get the 2 points for North Quincy.
yeah, nice job by Smith taking the ball to the hole and trying to show some leadership here as we hit the final 2 minutes.
So she turned right to the bench as well to try to get the team going, but just as you do that, Taylor Mann comes back and he sticks a 3 for the Presidents. 28-13. Smith again, she takes the 3, that's no good. Tipped into the hands of Hopper Mergel, that's no good as well. And finally, Rory Kennedy comes down with it.
Quincy doing an excellent job handling the pressure there. North came with pressure off that rebound, and Quincy did a great job of getting the ball down the court.
Davis was trying to drive in, got blocked off there by O'Donnell, so they're going to reset. 7 on the shot clock. Mann again for 3, and in and out, no good. O'Donnell quickly coming up court. 1 minute to go now in the second quarter. Hopper Mergel is calling for the ball, and an offensive foul called against North Quincy.
Well, that time what happened is the girl with the ball didn't wait for the pick to set. Wood came in there and actually did set herself, but while she was still moving, they crisscrossed. So that's an offensive foul, and President's coming down with 40 seconds left on the clock.
Reagan Weber checks back in, and Hopper Mergel will get called for the foul, and Evie Catrabone will go to the line for foul shots.
Wow. Nicely done by Catrimboni. We talked about her a lot last year in the games that we covered. I have that as her first point and a half. Do you agree with that, Evie?
Yes, and first 2 points, yes.
Got 2. She just did a terrific job. Went to the line, buried 2 foul shots. Great stuff.
Smith for 3 off the front of the rim, right into the hands of Taylor Mann.
See, this is what I'm talking about with the Presidents. They get the rebound, they get the ball out, handled the pressure very well, get the ball down the court cleanly. North trying to answer.
Amelia Maddie back in for North Quincy, and just as I say that, she's going to get called for the offensive foul.
No, it was off the ball, I think. It was an off-the-ball call on Maddie.
Yeah, she went to set a screen, and then you could see she pushed off, and the official had a clear path right to that.
Yeah, wow. Let's see if Quincy, under 10 seconds, so they're going to take their time, the Lady Presidents. I mean, they've got a 17-point lead. They don't need to do anything other than run that clock out. Isn't that something? What a first half. Very unexpected. If you had said to folks at the end of the first half, the Quincy Lady Presidents would be up by 17 and in total control of the game, people would have thought you knew precious little about high school basketball. But this is a tough one for the home team here, John. And we'll have to see what goes on in the locker rooms at halftime. There's going to have to be some big adjustments for the Raiders. And all the Lady Presidents have to do is talk about maintaining. So we'll see.
All right, well, as we go to the half, we'll see some highlights. Again, halftime with Quincy Presidents up 30-13. Jim and I will take a quick timeout and be back for second half coverage in just one moment. Please stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to North Quincy High School. We're at the half. The Quincy Presidents lead North Quincy by a score of 30-13. Real quick, Frankie Diaz with 10 points to lead the way for the Presidents. Gabriella Davis with 9, and Taylor Mann with 7. For North Quincy, Hopper Mergel has 6, Maddie O'Donnell with 3 to lead the way for the Raiders. Story has been foul trouble for North Quincy. Megan Smith, Caitlin Wood, Tabby McDonough, Alea Colbert all have 3 fouls for the Raiders. And Colbert back in the game, gets things going quickly here for North Quincy.
Well, there we just saw a structured offensive series that resulted in a nice little shot from someone who could stick it from inside the lane there, Colbert. So, and because of the foul trouble, nice decision by the Red Raiders. Coach Liana Cunningham goes to a zone defense, which Quincy promptly picks apart for a layup. Nicely done by the Presidents. Great execution on their part. So both teams come out with a first possession strong execution.
And the ball gets taken away there by Gia Plaskos-Kavitas. Megan Smith a long three, and she drains it.
Yeah. Megan Smith took that from another area code, so I see. What do we got there? Let's see.
See, I missed what the well, remains President's ball. No fouls called. Diaz trying to do the skip pass, but nice job there by North Quincy's Maddie O'Donnell to pick it off.
Nice weak side sag by O'Donnell, and she stepped into the passing lane.
Down to Colbert. They quickly double team her, and a foul's going to be called on Frankie Diaz.
Yeah, this is what Quincy had planned coming into the game. North gets the ball inside to Colbert, and the Quincy defense really collapsed on her very effectively. We'll see more of that depending upon how long Colbert can stay in the game here. It's clear that North came out of the locker room intending to get the ball inside to her.
And travel called on Alea Colbert.
North's in a zone defense here, a 3-2 or 1-2-2. I'm unsure of how they're playing it so far, but they've really extended the D, and they're trying to put pressure on the perimeter of Quincy. Now that they have Colbert in the game, they're able to do that, John, because Colbert's a big defensive presence in the lane.
Nice pass to Diaz in the corner for three, and can't get the roll. Catcherbone goes down hard to the floor, gets back up, sprinting down on defense.
Yeah, that Diaz three did everything but go in.
And Plaskos-Kavitas did a nice job to try to keep that ball alive. And as she tipped the ball, her foot was on the line. But a nice hustle there by the freshman for North Quincy, even though it goes to the Presidents for possession. Man, nice pass down low for Davis. She couldn't hold on to it, but Rory Kennedy's right there to finish it off.
There you go. Really nice execution again. Quincy continuing to just play very solid basketball here. They've got the lead at 16.
And Colbert was getting ready to pass the ball away as she got fouled. Fouls called on Evie Catcherbone.
It's her first.
McDonough's shot just off the front of the rim into the hands of Diaz. And Catcherbone can't hold on to that ball.
I tell you right now, John, one of the things from the Lady President perspective, it's a real positive. This is early in the season, as we've said, but what a confidence builder this game is, because they are in this game and they're controlling the game well into the second half, and that's going to make them feel really good. They're on the road against a heavily favored North Quincy team, and they're just playing really solid basketball. So this game is going to be, irrespective of final outcome, it's going to be a real confidence builder for the Lady Presidents. They've just played terrific, and they continue to do so.
Nice bucket there at the just before the timeout call by Gia Plaskos-Kavitas. As we'll take a look at some highlights here of the beginning of the third quarter. as North Quincy's trying to climb their way back in here, still with a 14-point deficit. As that was early on in the quarter.
Yeah, you've educated me. I regrettably totally butchered Eva's last name there, but it rolls off your tongue very smoothly. Plaskovitis, correct?
Plaskovitis, yes.
Yeah, I want to apologize to all living generations of the Plaskovitis family because I totally butchered it. I'm pretty good with Irish names, frankly, and then after that, my skill
Things fall
set
apart.
drops off terribly. It took me a while to get used to Caleri, right? But Eva is a really terrific, Gia, I beg your pardon, now I'll butcher her first name too. Gia is a terrific ball player and has really done a nice job here.
Taylor Mann, she's open for three, can't get it to go. And rebounded there by McDonough. And nice defense there by the Presidents. Looks like it might have been Mann coming down to get that ball tipped away. Oh, great job there by Davis to fake it. And no offensive foul is going to be called against Gabriella Davis as Tabby McDonough with 3 fouls stays in there and picks up the offensive foul against Quincy.
Yeah, and she got a little blasted too. She's kind of walking away, shaking it off. So great job here. Big turnover. It's 34-20, and I would say ideally the Red Raiders are hoping to get this lead into single digits here as they go into the fourth quarter.
So again,
3:34 left. Go ahead.
McDonough, Smith, and Colbert all playing with 3 fouls.
Yeah, they were trying to get the ball to Colbert coming out of the locker room, and she's not seen the ball much this quarter.
And Megan Smith for 3, she hits it. 8 points now for Megan Smith here tonight. Lead now down to 11. And head coach Sarah Conlon calls a timeout.
Timeout. Excellent timeout by Coach Conlon. There's 15 seconds, 16 seconds left on the shot clock. They have an opportunity to run a little something. She's going to go over that, try to get the girls to calm down a little bit and try to break this little mini run. North Quincy's starting to do something on the offensive end. There's a little more flow to their game. They're playing solid defense. As I mentioned earlier, Colbert still hasn't seen the ball that much this half. So North's getting back into the game without the Colbert interior presence. So that's a factor too. But if the Presidents can settle down here, John, they're going to go 3 quarters totally controlling this ball game. Conversely, what Coach Cunningham's talking about in the North Quincy huddle is that with 3 minutes to go, we get to totally erase a totally putrid first half. If we can cut into this lead and change the momentum here going into the fourth quarter. So I just saw our senior Taylor Mann walking onto the court with the freshman Davis, telling her to stay cool and keep her composure. Nice leadership there by Mann.
Davis with 3 in the shot clock and no good as Colbert was coming out to challenge it.
Nice decision by, well, it was a nice decision by Colbert. They ended up not capitalizing, but Colbert did not go on a reckless hurl toward the hoop, but instead pulled it out. They got a layup and missed it.
Quincy swing that ball around in the zone.
Great ball movement by the Lady Presidents.
Davis to the hole, and no, an offensive foul call against Gabriella Davis. Again, who taking the charge? It's number 5, Megan Smith.
That's Davis' third. Great job by Smith. Great job of stepping in. That's what experience gets you. Davis picks up her third, but more importantly, you can see a little shift in her confidence level here.
Smith for three, that's no good. McDonough with the rebound. Excuse me, O'Donnell with a rebound. And fouls called on the floor. This could be against Frankie Diaz.
Yeah,
it is, that's her
she's going
fourth.
to the line.
So Diaz with the 4 fouls will now come out.
All right, so see, there's a big issue now for the Lady Presidents. They lack depth, so the loss of Diaz to 4 fouls, and frankly, the little bit of confidence issues that are developing here for the freshman Gabriella Davis. We mentioned, you noted it, and I said something about it, but the captain, Taylor Mann, talking to her, because she picked up on it as well. And what's happened here?
Looks like Quincy's going to get called for a foul. The basket was good.
Colbert's going to the line, so a boxing out foul.
Yeah, looks like Caroline Mann got called for the foul.
All right, well, Maddie O'Donnell did a terrific job of sticking both foul shots. They've got the lead to single digits now. Colbert, who has not had an opportunity to get into the flow of anything yet, misses the first foul shot. Misses them both. But there's Maddie O'Donnell.
And Colbert down on the block. She kicks it out. Plaskaskavitis, and she hits the 3. Well, just a couple seconds ago, it was an 11-point lead. Now it's down to 6. And bad pass there by the Presidents. North Quincy ball.
With 1:20 to go. So after a sluggish start to the third quarter, North Quincy starting to execute, has got themselves back in this ball game.
Great job there by O'Donnell. Follow her shot, can't get it to go. And rebound by Caroline Mann. 1 minute to go now in the third quarter. And a reaching foul called against Megan Smith. That'll be her 4th.
I thought it was on.
Oh, excuse me, that was.
Yeah,
Yep,
it's
sorry.
Maddie O'Donnell on the reach-in. She was inside the lane, so the official was pointing that the ball's going to be taken out under the hoop, John.
So that's only the first on Maddie O'Donnell.
Davis dropped that one?
I believe so, yes. All right, Alea Colbert called for the foul. That's her 4th.
Wow.
And she'll come out. Hopper Mergel will come back in.
So now both teams have key players on the bench with 4 fouls. Quincy Diaz, North Quincy Colbert. I have to tell you something. Caroline Mann is not shrinking from the rate of pressure here.
All right, that foul was called on Tabby McDonough. That's her 4th. She remains in the game. 20 seconds to go in the quarter. Kennedy thought about the 3, passes off to Taylor Mann instead, and around the rim and in for Taylor Mann.
I got to tell you, nicely executed possession there by the Presidents, and they've got the ball back.
Rory Kennedy from half court and can't get it to go. It was a great steal there by Taylor Mann. And North Quincy had gone on a little bit of a run there, Jim, and the Presidents hold off at the end of the third quarter, get the lead back up to 10, 38-28.
Yeah, a very good job by the Lady Presidents of taking this the Red Raider run here in the third quarter and finally putting a halt to it and getting a couple of nice quiet hoops, working hard, executing, putting 4 points on the board and getting, as you said, the lead back up to 10. So this was a critical stop or stemming of the tide here by the Lady Presidents. They stopped the little run, they get the lead back, and key to all of this will be how the freshman, who's been performing terrifically, Gabriella Davis, how she responds. This is her first time staring all this pressure in the face. We'll see what Coach Sarah Conlon says about bringing Diaz back in, at what point she's going to do that, because she's such a critical, player here and a key for the for the President on both ends of the floor. So let's see, is Diaz out there? No, she's going to start on the bench. I think what Conlon will do is evaluate how this group can do. Oh no, she's back in. So she's come back with her right away.
And bad pass there. North Quincy takes it away.
What's this call?
I'm not too sure. Plaskas Havidis.
Oh, I think she's just saying it's blue ball that the Red Raider carried it on. Oh, I don't know what that was.
I'm not too sure what that call was. Yeah,
I missed that call.
Remains North Quincy ball. Dunna driving in and no good. And ball goes off a Taylor man. It'll remain North Quincy ball. And ball did not hit the rim, so only 14 seconds on the shot clock. Kick out to O'Donnell in the corner. She can't get it to go. Davis with the rebound. Davis for three. She drains it.
Well, that's what you're looking for. From the President perspective, Gabriella Davis just calmly sticking a three, leads back up to 13. And the Red Raiders with an offensive possession that comes up empty. So they made a run. They were back in this game, but
and almost taken away there. Fight for their ball. And it's going to be a jump ball. And it'll be North Quincy possession on the possession arrow.
O'Donnell with a nice dribble penetration and finish there, John. So well done by Maddie O'Donnell. We're at 11. North can't keep trading baskets, and the Presidents are happy to if they can get it to that point. Nice take by Gabriella Davis. Wow.
Davis, another nice take to the hole there. She has 16 points here tonight, Jim. And before Hoppenberger got the shot off, she traveled.
At the very least, we see that Gabriella Davis, that little jitter there at the end of the third quarter is gone. Things were starting to get a little rocky all around her, and that's going to be a great experience for her to play through that as she has. And what she's doing now for the Presidents is terrific. And there's a three. And
Rory Kennedy gets the lead back up now to 16 for Quincy High School with 5.5 minutes to go. Molly Powers trapped down on the baseline and taken away by Davis.
I got to tell you, John, this is a very impressive performance by the Presidents. North looked like they were regaining control of this game, but these young ladies.
And backcourt violations called against North Quincy. Couldn't hold on to the possession.
Yeah, I was going to say, these young ladies from Quincy High School have just come into this gym, and man, have they put on a performance tonight. And this is going to do nothing but help them going forward this season. Because this is just, right now they're 2-2 in the Patriot League. I don't know who they have coming down the pike. I mean, we have the schedule here. I'm not going to bother to look at it right now, but they're 4-3 overall. And they are playing some really solid basketball tonight, and I think the Lady Presidents are learning a lot about themselves tonight.
All right,
on the other side, North Quincy High was there. They had done what they needed to do to get back in this ball game, but it slipped away again on them.
So timeout was called by North Quincy. 5:01 to go, with the Presidents on top, 46-30.
Here's Gabriella Davis's three earlier. We're running a couple of highlights of, and watch Megan O'Donnell take it to the hoop and finish cleanly. Gabriella Davis facing intense pressure from O'Donnell. Dribbles away from the penetration. Dribbles away from the pressure, penetrates, and sticks a nice little bunny jumper there. So Davis and the Lady Presidents answering the call here.
And ball gets taken away there by number 5, Megan Smith. North Quincy brings it up. Down low for Plaskasavidis. There was a nice look there by Tabby McDonough. Ten on the shot clock now for North. Yeah, 3 there is no good, but goes into the hands of North Quincy for the rebound, and as I say that, goes out of bounds. President's ball.
We're coming up to the 4-minute mark, John, and the lead's back up to 16.
Nice backdoor cut for Catcherbone, and she's get fouled by Colbert, and Colbert has fouled out with 4:01 to go.
Baby. Diaz sticks the 3, John. And the lead is 19. Well, here's another interesting factor. With 3:40 to go, it's going to be the first Quincy High foul of the quarter, which means that North's not going to be looking at opportunities for getting back in the game from the foul line here.
And an offensive foul called against North Quincy. It looks like it was called on Harper Mergel. Looked like on the screen called her for the foul. That's her 3rd. And nice job by Mergel, getting her hands up on defense, tipped that ball away. Smith for three, no good. Mergel trying to fight for the rebound, and she comes up with it. And looks like a foul's going to be called. Foul's called on Taylor Mann. It looked like the official was coming in to call a jump ball, but Mann might have come in too strong there to tie that up, and that's why they called the foul. And Mann gets called for foul again.
I don't know what that was about. Interesting. So, we're coming up on 3 minutes, and North's trailing by 19. So for the Presidents, this means that when they get the ball, they're going to be running clock. Guess we're running a replay here we can take a look at, and that's a nice three-pointer stuck. We're looking at the Lady Presidents highlights here, and here's the Diaz one. The first three-pointer there that we saw was by Rory Kennedy. Just very impressive stuff. And the fact that the Presidents have done this consistently throughout the course of the entire game. They've come in the North Gym and they've outplayed the Red Raiders, which is something that we didn't anticipate. Red Raiders came out in the third quarter, took a run, got back in the game, and you know, it's an interesting evening, I think, for both teams. They're learning a lot about, each team's learning a lot about itself.
Well, also, there's been 35 total fouls called in the game as well, so there's really very little momentum going. It seems like every few seconds there's a foul being called to halt the action. Tabby McDonough with the 2 points there for North Quincy.
Yeah, so Quincy doing a nice job. They've run 15 seconds off the clock now. And tonight's best player offensively had the ball there.
And Mann's shot, no good, came up short, and it's Mergel and Megan Smith run into each other.
Nice aggression by Mergel to get the rebound. Oh, watch out. I wonder, that'll be on Mergel, but I just hope the young lady's knee who got, I think, but I'm not sure. I think it was Evie Catrimboni who got caught there down low. She seemed to get up and she's fine.
The foul was called on Mergel.
Look how they're handling this pressure beautifully. Moving the ball well, pulling the ball back out.
As we come up on 2 minutes to play here in the fourth. And foul's called on Megan Smith, and it was an intentional foul.
Yeah, the official's not too happy about that one. He called it a flagrant and was very demonstrative when making the call. So Frankie Diaz sticks them both, and the Presidents get the ball back with a 19-point lead.
Riley Green has checked in for North Quincy.
Yeah, the Raiders have to be careful here. Their fouls have been a little bit robust as they try to get to the 5-foul.
So you can definitely see the frustration coming through now with North Quincy with some of the fouls, as you were saying.
Yeah, we're going to be careful about that. Quincy just doing a terrific job moving the ball around, killing the clock.
Catrabone with it. Gets it off to Davis. Davis stuck in the corner. Oh, wide. Oh, big block there by Tabby McDonough, not giving up on the play. Looked like Quincy, who had been passing the ball all around, might have had an easy 2 points, but McDonough comes up to knock it away. 8 on the shot clock. Davis sees that. Long three from Frankie Diaz. And a shot clock violation.
Yeah, they'll take that. When you're up 19 with roughly a minute to go, the objective is to get the clock to zeros. And I don't quite know what to say about this one, John. It's been an interesting ball game. I really feel that Quincy High, the Lady Presidents, have learned an awful lot about themselves, because North Quincy had a terrific season last year, had most of their kids back this year. They came out as a Globe top 10 team, and they've been playing well. But tonight, they've just absolutely been outplayed in every phase by the Lady Presidents. So that's got to buoy the Quincy High team greatly. To North's credit, they continue to battle, as we saw there, but this is going to prove to be too little too late.
And the Raiders already in the penalties, so Diaz will go to the line for the 2 foul shots. Teams will meet again on Friday, February 6th, down at Quincy High School.
Yeah, by then both teams will have worked some of the kinks out, but I think that there was a lot of kink worked out tonight for the Lady Presidents. I mean, they've really discovered, that they can play with a good team, and they did that. They matched the Raiders every step of the way. Nice three-pointer there for Riley Green. And the white shirts continue to hustle out there. We give them credit for that. They continue to scrap.
All right, final 15 seconds. Slight differential between the shot clock and the game clock.
So it looks like it's going to be about a 15-point win for the Lady Presidents here in North Quincy High's gym. Very, very impressive stuff. Got to inbound the ball and kill 1.3 seconds, and then away we go, John. So we could start our wrap-up now. Some of the fans are leaving. And, oh, look at that. Maggie O'Donnell ends the game on an up note. So good for Maggie, who actually had a really nice game tonight, to no one's surprise. She was consistent throughout. So I don't know what you want to say. You could maybe give us some totals on the points, but hats off to the Lady Presidents, and North Quincy High's got a little bit of work to get them back to where they thought they were, and let's see what happens and how they go about doing it.
All right, we'll run down the stats. First for the Presidents, leading the way, each with 16 points, was Frankie Diaz and Gabriella Davis, both with outstanding games. Taylor Mann had 11 points, Rory Kennedy had 6, Evie Catrabone had 2, and Reagan Weber had 1 point for the Presidents. For North Quincy, leading the way was Maddie O'Donnell. She had 10, Megan Smith with 8, Gia Plaskavitas with 7, Harper Mergel with 6, Riley Green with 5, Tabby McDonough with 2, and Alea Colbert with 2 points as well. And that's really the big story right there. Colbert only 2 points, was in foul trouble the entire game, and really from the jump, as you mentioned, Jim, Quincy came out ready to play, and North Quincy just had trouble getting things going. Didn't seem that they were, I'm not too sure what it was, and then foul trouble just get right into them, and it was really momentum for Quincy the entire game. There was a time there in the third quarter, North Quincy was making a push. They had cut the lead back down to 6, and then right away, a couple of fouls. Quincy makes a couple baskets, and the lead was right back up into double digits again.
Yeah, they really took the shot, and they reacted very well to it. And I was very, very impressed with the play of freshman Gabriella Davis. It was very interesting. You and I both saw it. Senior Taylor Mann, they came out of a timeout huddle, and she just kind of, palms down in front of her hand, said to Gabriella to stay calm, stay poised, and not to worry. And I'll tell you, Gabriella did that and more. So great outing for the Presidents. Tough one for the Raiders. Still a lot of time to play here. A lot of season to play, I should say. So we'll see what both teams do coming back from this game.
All right, well, I mentioned that this was game number 1 between the two teams this year. They will play again on Friday, February 6th at Quincy High School. It was a sweep for Quincy High School here today as the boys won 62-60 in double overtime, and the girls again with a 52-40 victory over North Quincy. Real quick, want to thank all the people that helped came out and make this game possible for QATV. John McLaughlin, Tim Myers, and Eric Villalides. On camera, on replay, Brian Cox. On graphics, Frank Hart. On audio, Michael Merrick. Our engineer is Chris Potter, and our director, Peter Doherty. So again, final time here from North Quincy High School. The boys from Quincy High School win 62-60 in double overtime, and the girls with a big victory for Quincy High as well, 52-40. For Jim Timmons, my name's Jonathan Caleri. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of QATV Sports. We'll see you next time.